Hello everyone, my name is Chow Guardian. After clearing not one, not two, but 3 areas completely, we only have the Distant Spring left, so we are going to be exploring more of the Distant Spring. And how fitting that a part that was very short is followed up by a part that is going to be very, very long. This is why I really like clearing out areas before I go exploring for parts, because now that all these enemies are mostly cleared out, we have no reason to be worried about just getting a bunch of ship parts all done in a single day. And that's precisely what I do. And I get out a lot of reds, first off, mainly because there's a certain boss that I have to fight. The armored cannon beetle that we saw beforehand that is surrounded by fire geysers. So I decide to just bring a bunch of red so that way I can just deal with it immediately, because once again, armored cannon beetles are a joke. But you know what will stop me? Pikmin tripping. Because of course they do. Every single time. Without fail. Every time. Ugh. Anyways. Almost wish I had a tripping counter for how many times Pikmin have tripped in this series. I almost want to have a counter for it. But outside of Pikmin tripping, we have a small little puzzle right here with the yellows that we're going to need. This one is kind of annoying since you really want to take it slow. And the problem is if the yellows fall off, you have to do this puzzle all over again. And you need a decent amount of yellows. I believe you need 20 just to get this ship part. It's kind of a pain. But you want to guide the yellows right here. And then throw them up. But as you can see, yeah, a lot of them fell off. So I have to do this puzzle all over again, which is kind of annoying. So instead, I decide to just throw these yellows right here. And as you can see, yeah, there's a ramp right here that you can't climb up, which is kind of a pain. And if those yellows fall into that little hole right there, they have to make the branch, which can take up even more time. And you can also fall off, which is what I did. Sometimes I've had it happen multiple times where I'm just trying to rush this whole segment and then I just fall off. Ooh, it doesn't feel good. To say it feels good is a huge lie. It feels like a huge lie. It sucks when that happens. It sucks, is all I'm gonna say. But thankfully, we got the part. And weirdly enough, I didn't get close enough to it to where Olimar gives a description of it, so I won't exactly know what the description is, and I don't exactly remember what the part's name is, so, whoops. But another reason I have these yellows is because there's a yellow 10 pellet and a swooping snitch bug. I don't know why these guys gotta come back immediately, even though the Wollywogs and the Bullbears didn't come back. But here we are. The UV lamp is what it's called. That's what it is. Okay. I'm glad that you needed this lamp to get off the planet. I'm glad you needed it. Yeah, that's Olimar for you. That is Olimar for you in a nutshell. But now that the swooping snitch bug has been dealt with, again, not a really dangerous enemy, just kind of annoying, I decide to have the reds first off see where they're gonna go and carry this, and unfortunately they're gonna carry it through the armored cannon beetle as I take fire damage as well. So I decide, screw it, we're just gonna have to fight the armored cannon beetle. And as you can see, yeah, that's what it does normally, as we've seen before. But once again, throw a Pikmin at its cannon, and then throw all of them on its back as it's radiating all the heat from its insides. I don't know what you'd call them. Either way, the bowsprit. I don't exactly know what a bowsprit actually is. I'm assuming it's probably an actual part of a rocket, but I really wouldn't know personally. But that's been taken care of. And I don't remember if the armored cannon beetle respawns. bosses is the thing. I know some of the other mini-bosses spawn. I don't know about this one. But in all honesty, I am quite thankful that mini-bosses don't respawn. I mean, could you imagine something like, oh, I don't know, the burrowing snagrit respawning? That'd be super annoying, and I'm sure would never happen, right? Right? I hate you, Pikmin 2. I hate you, Pikmin 2. But now that this stuff is coming back, I'm glad they're not going in the direction of the Puffy blog, because that did respawn. Of all things that had to respawn, I really wish it wasn't that. But, it is what it is. And for now, I'm more concerned about getting, well, Pikmin to the yellows, because I actually want to give the armored cannon beetle to the yellows. And the pellet. So, as everyone's putting this stuff back, waiting for the reds to get this. 2 ship parts down already, by the way, which is would be crazy. A lot of these ship parts are right next to each other. There's one thing I can say about this place. A lot of the ship parts are actually really close by to each other. So usually when you get one, you're pretty close to getting another one as well. If that's one thing for the distant spring. That doesn't make it not as bad to explore. Though I guess I've kind of said that for almost all of these areas here. You'd think that because of how big these areas look and feel, that it'd be really hard to get a lot of these parts. But surprisingly, not really, which is again why I really wouldn't stress over about the 30-day time limit. A lot of these parts tend to be really, really close together more than half of the time. So I really wouldn't worry too much about the time limit. And in every single case, and even in an area like this, where it's quite big, or very much feels really big, a lot of these ship parts are actually close by. In fact, one of the ship parts is very close by to this ship part as well, and we're going to be getting that very quickly after, well, we take out the trash and take this cannon beetle back with us, as well as this 10 pellet. Really annoying that they put that with the fire. Really annoying, game developers, but I'm not immune to all tricks. I took the other way, so now I will get my yellow pellet and the armored cannon beetle. I'm such a genius. I'm such a genius for figuring out a puzzle in a real-time strategy game. Pretty crazy. Anyways, now I really don't need the reds for pretty much anything else when it comes to this area. Not really. That's about all I need them for. And for now, it's mostly going to be blues and yellows, but mostly blues since the rest of these treasures, or ship parts, frickin' Pikmin 2 again, are in the water. So, I mostly just need blues to carry this stuff back. And that's precisely what I'm going to do. Now, thankfully, one of these ship parts isn't actually that dangerous to grab. The others, however, will require us to fight some new enemies that dwell exclusively in the water. And only in this area, too. You only fight them here, but nowhere else. It's kind of odd. But first, I'd like to show off this ship part. This is actually one of the optional ship parts as well. The pilot seat. Which you wouldn't think of this as an optional ship part, but I believe it actually is. Or maybe it's the space float I'm thinking of. Either way, I remember a device like this, a flotation looking device, that's not a required ship part. I don't remember which of the two it is. I'm gonna assume it's this one because this one's kind of out of the way. But I believe this one is not required. Again, I don't know why, since a spaceship is something I actually would imagine. Oh, by the way, hear that sound? Yeah, it's the Shearwigs undoing our work, which is why I wanted to make sure I came back here before that happened. And you can probably imagine the shame is going on for that bridge at the top beforehand. Because as you can see, yep, that bridge up there is unraveling at the seams, so yeah, thanks, Shearwigs. My favorite enemies to deal with. Just fun. But first, I want to take you out because it actually will be important to take you out for something a little bit later. No, but first, we got this back in. Again, you would imagine a pilot seat would be something that's kind of essential, but I don't really think it is, actually, which is kind of odd. I wonder if people who have done space travel have actually done it without a pilot seat. I generally wonder how that's actually gone. Then again, maybe not, considering how space travel is kind of dangerous in the fact that, you know, you're going to a place where there's no oxygen, so if you lose oxygen, you're gonna die. Heck, even getting off flight from the ground with the liftoff can be very dangerous in and of itself, where sometimes it can explode. And I've seen some crazy stuff with rockets going wrong. My god, it is kind of horrifying to see, I'm not gonna lie. God forbid the people that are actually experiencing stuff firsthand. Ugh. Now I really don't want to imagine that. Ugh. Let's not imagine rockets failing. Let's really not imagine that, please. But for now, no more yellows. But we will need them in a little bit. You'll see why. And no more reds. It is completely going to be blues for these next two ship parts, which I do need to be quick about because we don't actually have a lot of time left. So I get all of my blues out immediately. Realize that a lot of them are buds, which is not the best. So I try to get some nectar. And I get one glob. And thankfully the problem is solved just like that. Thank God for that. Thank God the problem was solved immediately. Because sometimes I've had times where no nectar spawns. And it's the absolute worst feeling in the world. It's the worst feeling in the world, I say. The worst feeling in the world. But now that I don't have to fear the water, we can just go through it quite nicely. Wait for these blues to catch up. Kind of annoying. But now we have these guys. Water dumples. They're really annoying. But first, I want to throw some blue Pikmin right here. You need 20 at minimum. But first, gotta take these guys out. They're kind of annoying because they actually have really decent defenses. And they eat Pikmin very quickly. As you can see right there with that one chomp. They eat very quickly. Very quickly. And they're really defensive. Surprisingly, for such tiny enemies, they're quite defensive. Which is kind of a pain. But anyways, for this one part, all I have to do is just throw a couple of blues. About a good amount, I'd say. I don't know how many did I actually throw up. 41. Impressive. And then just throw it at this part right here. I believe this is the Ion Jet number 2, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. Let's just check to make absolutely sure. Aha! It is number 2 Ion Jet. Okay, I said Ion Jet number 2. I flipped up the words. Whatever, Ion Jet number 2. Ooh, number 2 Ion Jet. They're all the same in my book. All the same. But anyways, we have to actually turn these blue Pikmin into yellow Pikmin. Now you might be asking, why the frick would I want to do something like that when we're surrounded by water? Well, as these yellow Pikmin sprout, there's a part that requires yellow Pikmin height. And I need 20 of those yellows. So you have to turn 20 blue Pikmin into 20 yellow Pikmin, throw them to the other side, and then throw those 20 yellows to the ship part. And as you can see, this is quite a time-consuming task, as we don't exactly have a lot of time left. Even though there's one more part I need to grab anyway, so I wouldn't be able to complete it. Still, I don't have a lot of I have a part-time job, yes. No, I don't exactly have a lot of time left to get this done. And there's the lovely Ion Jet number 2. Oh. Number 2 Ion Jet. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I'm sorry, Captain. I made a mistake. I won't make a mistake again. I'm sorry. But anyways, throw those 20 yellows right there. Wait for them to pick the stupid thing up. Bring it down. The Chronos reactor. To warp time and space. Oh, space-time. Didn't say time and space. Because I'm so used to a lot of games saying warping through time and space, but it just says space-time. Which, I wonder if we'll ever really get that. At least in this lifetime, while I'm still alive. I'm sure it's probably possible. Just wonder if it'll happen in my lifetime or if it's going to happen while I'm long dead. Who knows? But anyways, now I have my blues. Bring the piece back. And I have to pluck these yellow Pikmin that are now blue Pikmin that are now leaves. And they better rush over there because, again, we don't have a lot of time left. I'd say we have about a minute left. So, yeah, I'm major stressing right now, if I'm being honest. I was majorly stressing out if they were going to make it back. Because we really don't have a lot of time left. Even with this very nice, relaxing music, I don't feel relaxed at all. But yeah, I check the map, and I see we have more than enough time. Even though the 10 count comes up, we have plenty of time. So I'd say we made a very, very great dent in the distant spring. A very huge dent, if I'm being honest. I'm surprised we were able to get as much done. We got 5 ship parts done in a single day. 5. That's the most we've done so far. And the most we're ever going to do, sadly enough, because we only have 2 ship parts left, and thankfully, the one I need to grab is not a hard one to grab whatsoever. So, we're pretty much in the clear, thankfully. After tomorrow, we're basically going to be in the clear. But tomorrow, we're going to be doing something I'm not looking forward to. You know exactly what it is, if anyone's played this game. But for anyone who hasn't, I'll leave it as a little bit of a surprise. Wouldn't want to spoil anything, now would I? For tomorrow. But you'll see what it is. You'll see what it is for anyone who hasn't played the game. Because I have a lot of time on my hands for tomorrow. Because, again, that one ship part is very easy to grab. So, oh boy, I'm looking so forward to this. So forward to this. But I will enjoy watching Searwigs go hungry, you disgusting bugs. I'm glad you go hungry. All of you, I'm glad you got to go hungry. But yeah, we only have 2 more parts left, and we have 18 more days left. Like I said, really don't need to worry about that time limit. We really got nothing to worry about. So yeah, next time we're going to be doing something fun. But more importantly, getting the last ship part in the distant spring. So, look forward to that, and I'll be seeing you guys then. Ciao, Guardian. Signing off. Ciao.